I'm Brian Westbrook with GeekWire Studios. You're watching Money Hacks, presented by GeekWire Studios and BECU. I'm joined now by Stacey Black, lead financial educator. We are talking about navigating the ups and downs of irregular income. Stacey, first of all, thank you for being here. What is irregular income?
Irregular income can come from things like self-employment. If you're self-employed, you're doing contract work or gig work, freelance. And a lot of people are drawn to this type of work because it feels like more freedom,
Yeah.
but financially it can make it a little more difficult.
So you might have a financially profitable time while you're in the middle of a contract.
Right.
And there might be months, maybe the winter months or the summer months, where there's just not work.
Yeah, and one of the biggest mistakes I see people make when times are good and they're making a lot of money, they decide to go shopping,
Mm.
right? Let's spend. We're feeling good about things, but they're not saving for the leaner times. So I highly suggest that you create a budget and stick to it.
There are a lot of challenges when you have irregular income, contract worker, freelance, whatever it may be. You have some suggestions of these challenges and maybe some solutions, starting with a realistic budget. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so you need to start with a realistic budget and then build a buffer.
Mm.
So open up a separate account if you need to and save for the leaner times. So the months that you're making a lot of money and doing really well, and it could be seasonal,
Mhm.
set some of that aside for the less profitable months, maybe. Building that buffer and having at least 1 month's worth of expenses in that separate account can be helpful to cover for those lean months.
One thing you may not consider if you have irregular income, you're a freelancer or a contractor, for example, is you're not getting benefits from an
Right.
employer. Tell us about the importance of saving for benefits and things like taxes.
Right. So think about quarterly taxes if you're self employed. Also, you're not getting paid time off, right?
Mm,
Or
yeah.
maybe health insurance through your company or a 401k. So do your research, take into account all of those things, and have a plan to help supplement those.
It may be a little more difficult to approach longer term savings if you have irregular income. What are some approaches?
I would suggest definitely working off of percentages
Hmm.
instead of committing to a flat dollar amount.
Okay.
It can be difficult to have that flat dollar amount when you have a low month in income. So if you're working with percentages and set it up so it automatically
Yep.
transfers, then it's all relative and you won't overextend yourself during the months where you're not making as much.
That might be super helpful for things like taxes, where it's generally
Right.
going to be X% of the revenue I've brought in.
Specifically for taxes, consider opening up a separate account and just paying those taxes like it would come out of your paychecks.
So it kind of gets squirreled away. You don't think about it.
Right. And you don't have to scramble to come up with the funds.
Those with irregular incomes have a lot to think about when it comes to savings. What would the number one piece of advice you would give somebody with an irregular income be?
Have a plan. Really build out your budget, have a plan for the low months, create that account that's going to buffer for the lower months.
And you don't recommend spending all the money when I get a big
Right.
paycheck.
Yeah.
Just don't go shopping. All right. All right.
It's tempting, but we don't want to do that.
I hear you. Stacey Black, always keeping me in check. Thank you so much for watching Money Hacks presented by BECU. I'm Brian Westbrook with GeekWire Studios.